everybody. Today's quick tip has to do with how I organize my inks. This is a personal preference. Everybody has a different way they want to be able to organize and access their inks. And this is just what works for me. So maybe you can take something away from this that will work for you, and maybe you can adapt it. Please leave a comment below if you have an idea of how you like to organize your inks. I'd love to hear from you. It gives me ideas too. So the first thing I want to talk about is when I first started getting into ink, I knew I needed to have a way to organize my ink. So I bought this. This is specifically made for alcohol inks. It's put out by Tim Holtz. And the way it works is the inks simply go in there like that. But the only problem is if you have two inks that are very similar colors, like indigo blue and amethyst, I couldn't tell which was which. I needed to see the label. So the next thing I did is I bought online, and I'll link below, this ink holder. This is specifically made for alcohol inks. They are stored upside down, and I've heard different reviews on whether or not people like this. So I don't mind it. The only thing you have to make sure is that you have the caps on all the way tight so they don't leak. If your caps are on loose, there's a possibility they could leak. I personally never had a problem. I always check my caps. As I started to do more and more inking and want more and more colors, which a lot of us do, I knew that I needed to expand and have a bigger area to put my inks. So online I found this, and I'll link it below for you. This actually is a holder for nail polishes. So you'll see these a lot in nail polish studios. They will have these. I think it ran between $20 and $30 on Amazon, and I absolutely love it because it holds a lot of inks, as you can see. I kept adding more inks, which a lot of us do, and needed more space, and someone had given me a holder for my essential oils, and I looked at it and I said, I bet that would work perfectly. And so therefore, this is an alcohol ink stand that was made from an essential oil holder. I've also seen people use spice racks, especially if you have room to like mount it on your wall. You can use that as well. Now, one thing I do is I organize my inks by color and by what I most frequently use. As you can see, I've used my whites and my blacks and grays the most. And then I've got them organized by warm colors, cool colors, and then my yellows and greens, which are sort of in the middle. So you can see I've got all of my oranges, beiges, earth tones, warm colors here. I do have some mixatives over here. I've got my metallics and my pearls. I do have a couple of different types of inks. I use mostly Tim Holtz, but these are Bria Reese. They fit in if they go a little bit sideways. That works very well for me as well. So that's how I do the general organization. A couple of quick tips I want to give to you about your inks, though, is that first of all, when you finish an ink, save the cap. Or you finish the alcohol blending solution, save the cap. I don't know how many times I've gone to look for a cap to put on my ink and I can't find one. So what I started doing is, in this little trinket tray, I started just putting excess caps. Therefore, at the end of the night, when I am done painting and I just want to go to bed, I can grab a cap from here if I can't find one if one's fallen on the floor. The only thing you need to make sure is that you rinse it out really well so you don't contaminate your colors. If you try to put, for example, this one was over white, a white cover on, say, a green ink, the white is going to contaminate the top. That brings us to our next tip. So I don't contaminate the tops. When I'm actually inking, I use this little ice cube tray I got at a yard sale, I think for $1. So what I will do is when I'm inking, I will uncap my inks. I like to uncap them all if I know I'm going to use them. And I put the cap right there. So I know when I go to recap them, I'm not going to have like a black cap on a purple ink. And I'm not going to contaminate my ink that way. So when I'm done, all I do is I take it out, recap it, and then restock it back to its original space. And it keeps me organized. It also keeps the caps, as I said, from rolling around on the floor. Sometimes when you're working and you've got your airbrush out, you hit a cap and it goes flying. This keeps them nice and organized in one place. So I hope you enjoyed this tip today. And again, please comment below. Share with me your tips. I would love to hear them. Thank you.